Hi, I'm Khalila McCoy, and you're tuned into the show that's always worth the listen. This is Where We Rise. Hey friend, great to be here with you today. This is one of my favorite places to be, spending time with you, rising with you, and getting to know not only the stories of our guests, but your story as well. This week, I received a wonderful message from Jazzy P, and she's given me permission to share some of our conversation. It started out with a message like this. Hi, Khalila McCoy. Thank you so much for this podcast and for creating a space to talk about anything, really. I've learned a lot from the stories that people have shared. I have a lot of trauma in my past, and though you haven't shared a story like mine yet, hearing how others make it through helps me know I can come out with joy in the end, too. One day, I'll tell you more when I am brave. I really like the self-help type episodes you've done lately. I'm improving my self-talk and how I see me. Thank you for helping me see change and growth are possible no matter what I am going through. I've been told I'm being kinder to others and myself by a close friend. Cool, right? Jazzy and I talked more, and she really opened up. She realized how brave she already was, how much she's overcome, and how much she truly has to offer the world. She promised to keep in touch, and who knows, maybe one day she'll be on the show. I'm going to be checking in on you, Jazzy. Jazzy and I ended up talking a lot about the marriage roundtable I did with my friends in episode 19. If you're new here and haven't listened yet, I encourage you to check it out. It's pretty great. And even though Jazzy isn't married, she had so many questions and thoughts. She's navigating the dating world right now, and it feels like a lot. I told her to wait until this episode comes out because so much of what she's wrestling with is exactly what today's guest, dating coach Lilli Bewley, talks about. Lilli helps, and I quote, smart women just like you love dating and find true love. No more struggle, no more sacrifice. And even if you're not a woman or no longer in the dating game, keep listening. Lilli offers great reminders about understanding ourselves and insights into why we attract certain people into our lives. We also have a little fun talking about my imaginary friend, Kate. Just listen and you'll see exactly what I mean. Welcome to the show, Lilli. How are you today?
Hello, beautiful Khalila. I'm doing well. How are you?
I like that. I'm doing very well. I've been excited about our conversation today. I've actually, my best friend at work, we sat and talked about talking to you because it's kind of funny, even though I'm not in the dating world anymore, she recently was. And just the stories of the roller coasters that she has been on, I was like, oh, it's too bad that I hadn't heard of you or met you before. So she's like, yeah, when you talk to her, like ask her all the questions. But it's an interesting field that you're in. So tell us a little bit about what you do as a dating coach.
Yeah. It is an interesting field. It's an interesting field, I think, because just like your friend at work that you're talking to is anyone out there that's single right now, whether that be like, mid 30s, whether that be 40s, 50s, 60s, even I have clients that are 70.
Okay.
And out there in the dating world, there's this idea that dating sucks, that it is a roller coaster, that it is like really hard and confusing and frustrating and all those things. And yes, you can find evidence of that everywhere. You can find evidence of dating being hard and dating sucks everywhere. Like, any other kind of dating coach that would go on up, if you listen to other like dating podcasts or anything like that, or any dating episodes, or it's all about fear. There's a lot of fear out there. Oh, there's the divorce rate, there are more women than men and all these things. And I was in that boat myself too. I have been through this dating journey, of, really, really kind of bad patterns that did not serve me, patterns where I never felt seen, I never felt heard, I never felt loved or even understood in relationships. And going through this journey to where we are today, which is the best man I've ever met, the safest man that I've ever met in my life. And that's where I come in with the dating
Mm-hmm.
journey as a dating coach. And yeah, I would have never thought that this is something that I would do. But after I started, I'm very different, Khalila, with the way that I approach dating.
Okay.
I approach dating from an inside out approach instead of an outside in approach. Like a lot
Mm.
of other dating coaches and experts, or even if you're dating and you go to your friends and you go to your family and you ask them for advice, they're going to tell you a bunch of stuff like that's on the outside of you. They're going to tell you, that picture isn't really good on your profile. Change your picture.
Right.
They're gonna say, oh, change this. This sounds a little weird. Or they're gonna say, oh, just go be yourself. Or, I used to get the feedback from one of my friends a long time ago. Oh, don't go so deep on the first date. Okay. And so there's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all these external kind of advices and things. And, you scroll through TikTok, you go scroll through Instagram, they'll give you all these tips and tricks. But those tips and tricks, at least for me, they didn't work or they worked for a short period of time. And I could
Right.
not seem to call in my dream partner, the man of my
Mm-hmm.
dreams. I could not seem to do that. And so that is when I had a look inside myself and I said,
Okay.
okay, there's a common denominator here, and the common denominator is me. So what is happening inside of me where I am seeking outside validation from men? I
Mm.
am being someone that I'm not. I don't even know who I am in relationships. And so for me, again, it's really all about healing from the inside
Right.
out. It's really about becoming the woman that God made you to be, that universe made you to be, and really, really calling in aligned things that are going to fill up your life, and fulfill your life. And having a dream partner is one of those things, at least for the women I work with and for me as well. So again, like never really thought that I was going to get into this, into this area of life. But here's the thing, going back a little bit on the dating, the whole thing about dating and why it sucks. What the opportunity is, if there are any single women listening, when your friend listens, is it's not that dating sucks. It's that your experience with dating sucks.
Right.
So
True.
the opportunity is to change your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is the way that I see it is you don't change your experience from the outside of you. You change the experience from the inside of you.
Inside.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
all of those things that you're saying to yourself, like there aren't enough men in my town. There aren't any conscious men out there. I'm never going to find somebody. I'm going to make the same mistakes again. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. All of those are really, really deep and hidden unconscious
Mm-hmm.
and subconscious patterns that are keeping you where you are. And so the
Right.
opportunity is to heal and get to a place where you are a magnet for, again, everything that fulfills you, including a dream partner.
Right. So, speaking from your own experience, what were some of the steps that you took to heal from the inside?
Oh, all of the things.
Okay.
All of the things. I mean, therapy, coaching, being on purpose, like this is purposeful, for me
Right.
as well. And again, it's like, awareness is one thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of personal development, it will be really good at giving you awareness, and that's kind of where a lot of women sit that are probably listening to this podcast is
Mm-hmm.
they're aware of their patterns, but they can't seem to get from the awareness of their patterns to actually breaking their patterns. And
Yeah.
so I mean, it's a journey. I mean, it really is a journey. There's no really tip or trick or strategy other than, do the thing that is scaring
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
as far as healing goes. And it's like, all the things, I did books, podcasts, again, therapy, coaching, all of the things to finally get myself to a place where I'm a whole person. Like me
Mm-hmm.
being a whole person helps me call in a whole person, right?
Right.
Or at the most, like for the most part, I'm human. I'm still a
Mm-hmm.
human. I still have my patterns. I still have my wounds and all those things, but I am definitely acting more in alignment with who I am at my core than I was for the first, 30 years of my life. And that
Right.
is what we're really trying to get women to is this inner alignment where her behaviors, her actions, her beliefs, her thoughts, and her emotions all
Mm-hmm.
line up. And
Yeah.
a lot of women are kind of fractured inside of themselves and kind of all over the place. There's one part of her that, like the chill woman. There's a feminine dating archetype, which we might get into, might not. But there's a framework called the feminine dating archetypes,
Okay.
and there's an archetype called the chill woman. And the chill woman, like for example, feels very fractured inside because she knows that she probably shouldn't sleep with somebody on the first date or at the very beginning of the dating process. So there's a part of her that kind of knows, but then there's the other part that quote unquote self-sabotages. It's just a wounded part that does sleep with somebody pretty quickly on the first date. So that's why I talk about what I mean about fractured, like, and becoming again coming into kind of one inside of herself and whole.
Yeah. Do you walk your clients through almost like a therapy session of looking inside themselves, asking different questions? Is that how you
Kinda.
start yours?
It's a process. I mean, it's a
Mm-hmm.
system. It's a whole system that I came up with because it was the system and the journey that I went through, and then I
Mm-hmm.
started to plug clients into it, and it
Yeah.
works. I have 2 clients getting married this year, right? And
Wow.
so
Nice.
it works. And so it does feel like therapy. So I will
Mm-hmm.
say I am a coach. My therapist said that I should be a therapist. I'm like, girl, I ain't going back to school. So, so I'm a coach, but yeah, it's a system. I mean, there's a
Mm-hmm.
step-by-step system of healing from the inside out. And then we go out and do the dating. We do the dating process and all the how-tos and all those things. Those are there. But at the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning, it really is more about, again, healing those kind of core wounds, those root cause wounds for good, instead of
Right.
the little like band-aids that you put over them, but healing them for good, or healing them good enough to kind of move forward and start to break cycles, break patterns, overcome blocks, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you talked about like you went through these steps yourselves, and that's how you can be relatable to your clients. So can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Oh yeah. Um, like I said, I went through the whole journey. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in a family environment where I did not have a good example of a healthy relationship. It's a very unhealthy relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
really never had any adults that were good examples of a healthy, aligned relationship. Went through covert and overt abuse and trauma. And then as I started to kind of grow up and go through my relationships, I started to see these patterns in
Mm-hmm.
relationships and also dating where I never felt seen, I never felt heard, I never felt understood. Even though I thought that I was communicating well, I never could, meet the right people or communicate the quote unquote right thing in order to feel like I was seen and heard and loved and understood. And so I started to see these patterns of, sacrificing my body too quickly, abandoning myself in some ways, not being
Mm-hmm.
able to set boundaries and keep them, or I would set them and not keep them.
Right.
And really kind of going through this whole process, which the journey is actually the feminine dating archetypes. So it's these 4 archetypes where it goes from I was the chill woman for 3 decades, and then I went
Okay.
to the fortress woman, and then I went to the goddess woman, and then there was the magnetic woman. And the
Mm-hmm.
magnetic woman, that's where everything clicks. That's where everything aligns. That's where you really step into like I said, the woman that I think that God or universe kind of made you to be. And so all of my
Mm-hmm.
clients and I really strive to be the magnetic woman. And not because we're faking it, not because we're
Right.
putting on a mask,
You
not we're trying
truly
not
are. Yeah.
yeah, not because we're trying to act some certain type of way, but because it's from your core, from the inside out. And that is where you really become a beacon to, whether it be an aligned relationship, whether it be an aligned business, whether it be money in the bank, whether it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, it's really about who you are in this world and not what you do. But there's a
Mm.
lot of patterns that tell us as women that we are valuable because of what we do.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Yeah,
that
I
was my
like
whole
that.
journey.
Who you are and not what you do. That's really good.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And you kind of alluded to it already, just like the way society is. But when you talked about like not being seen or heard or having trouble with setting boundaries or sacrificing your body. I feel like that's not an isolated thing. Women are always talking about how, he's not listening, he doesn't understand. I've said it so many ways, or like you said,
Mhm.
that pressure of those boundaries. Why do you feel like that is very common for women?
Mm. Well, I think there's a lot of unhealed trauma out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. And whether you want to look at that or whether you believe that or not, or whether that's triggering for anybody that's listening, I think everyone has been through something in their life, especially if you're noticing a pattern. Like a
Okay.
pattern is something that happens 3 or more times, and they're at the root of a pattern that's not serving you is absolutely a root cause wound caused by something that's happened to you at some time in your life, whether you consciously know it or whether you don't,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And so, there is a level of courage to be able to look at this and be like, okay, I'm the common denominator here. I'm going to
Yes.
step into this healing journey with courage because I am done with this. There's no looking back. And I mean, that's where, the women come to me mostly. It's like, okay, I'm done with this. Well, let's just go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for the next level, no matter whatever it takes.
When you say that, do women usually come to you like, so they're open, ready for what you have, or are they still kind of guarded usually?
Good question. Both.
Okay.
I think it's a both and. I think it's a
Yeah.
both and. Um, doing something like healing a root cause is actually very it's scary, for some parts of us because there's expectations that it may hurt again. There's expectations of, like I can't talk about this or I'm too broken. And all of
Mm-hmm.
those patterns, guess what? All of those patterns, they also show up in your intimate relationship. So
Yes.
until that there's a level of not comfortability, but just uh again, it's like this level of healing inside of you. Many, many women, they really want to be able to be vulnerable. They really want to be
Yeah.
able to come home and be held and be loved and be protected and all these really, really beautiful things that men can provide. But again, there are these competing parts,
Mm-hmm.
inside of us that tell us that vulnerability is weak. That I have to do everything on my own, that I
Yeah.
can't rely on someone, that I can't trust someone. And all of that is really a mirror into our inner world, like our inner
Mm-hmm.
wounds, that that's the target. That's where
Yeah.
where I that we have the opportunity to heal.
I saw on your site that you work with, you said like successful women, 30s,
Mhm.
40s, 50s, and 60s.
Mhm.
Why do you feel like that is such a good group to work with, or maybe not necessarily a good group to work with, but women that you really targeted?
Yeah, because that's a great question. Very good question, Khalila.
Thank you.
Because they were like me. Like
Okay.
me, I'm really good at achieving. You put me in front of anything
Mm-hmm.
hard that has to do on the outside of me, and I could do it. Doesn't matter what it was. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it was. I could do it. I could make the money. I could get the job. I could get, I'm very, very good at achievement. Straight A student, athlete. Again, put me in front of something and I will knock it down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And a lot of women are like that, like me. And it's not a bad thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a bad thing. The hard thing about this, when you have everything else going well in your life and you can't seem to figure out your romantic relationships, is as hard as this may be to hear, the level of doing is hard to break, especially when you're wanting a connective romantic relationship, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So there's a mismatch between what's happening inside of her or inside of me when I'm out there. What am I working so hard to achieve? What does
Mm-hmm.
achievement mean to a part of me? It means I'm
Oh,
worthy.
I see.
It means
Yeah.
I'm good enough. It means that I'm going to be seen and heard, that I'm going to be validated, right? So what happens when you're just yourself and you aren't achieving? Do parts of you believe that you're not enough? And that's where the real deep healing comes in. It's a both and situation with my strong women out there. You can be a badass in the boardroom and have your business and work hard and all these things. And you can also be vulnerable, open, loving, and all those things. And that dichotomy inside of most women, especially who have gone through their life getting validation through achievement, through hyper independence, that is an internal structure that needs alchemizing, needs transformation in order to, like, for a woman, like, to completely, like, be herself, right?
Do you find that it also kind of changes the story if they've been either in a serious relationship that ended unexpectedly or a previous marriage?
Oh yeah. As far as like a trauma or like something like that, where
as far as like being able to kind of let go and release.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like there's, a lot of women that I work with have been divorced once, twice, 3 times, and they don't want to repeat the patterns of the past.
Yeah.
But they keep
that. What do you find? Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you find like with women who, like you said, been divorced like maybe 3 times and they keep trying, right? Sometimes you think like, okay, well, first you don't succeed, try again the 3rd time. But these women clearly want this relationship and this connection. So how do you, or like, what would you say to a woman who is kind of down on herself, like this is the 3rd time, but I really want this? How do you encourage someone in that?
Well, I mean, encourage is just, for me, like it's pretty simple as far as encouraging, which is do your work, do your healing work. Do your healing work and figure out why you're attracting the same type of man with a different face, why you're attracting the same type of relationship with a different face, right? And so, it depends on what kind of level that they are, which is one really good helpful thing about the feminine dating archetypes is when a woman goes in there and takes the archetype. There's a quiz at datingarchetype.com. I'd love to hear what your friend is too.
Yeah.
You go in there and you take the quiz and it tells you what level you're at, and it tells you what you need to, or what you don't need to do, but what you have the opportunity to do to get to kind of the next level. So it kind of depends as far as encouragement, as far as like, what's happening inside of her. Cause it could be anything from, she's the chill woman and she doesn't know what her needs and wants and desires are. And so, her healing work is to figure out what her needs and her wants and desires are and start to speak them up. Because a lot of times if she's a chill woman, she's kind of just gone with the flow with everything in life. And if somebody liked her, she'd be like, oh, okay. And she never really had a choice, or she never thought she had a choice. And so she never thought she had a choice because of some things probably that happened to her in the past. Right. So that's where the inside out thing happens.
That's kind of interesting, like thinking I want to go take this quiz now and see where I would fall and what I would do. Do you ever, like when you're working with the women after they've taken the quiz and things like that, do you ever find like the way they answered is probably like maybe more like who they wish they were, or are they usually pretty honest with themselves?
Sometimes. I used to be like that when I took like, disc quizzes or something, or like disc profiles or something like that at work, where I was like, oh, I know the way I should be because, I'm in this role. So it really kind of depends. Yeah. I mean, I have women come in and they'll take it multiple times just to kind of test and also to see kind of where they are and where they've grown. Like sometimes I'll invite my clients like, okay, you were here, go in and take it again and see where you are again and see if you've grown anywhere. But I'm sure that happens. I mean, I like I said, I remember taking disc profile things at work. And I'd be like, well, I'm a salesperson, so I know I should be extroverted, but I'm really introverted, which is really funny, right? That's a good question though.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you, so I told you already, me and my friend, we made up a woman. Her name is Kate, by the way. Okay. I wanted to go with Amanda, hug and kiss, but my friend told me I should do Kate. So
that's funny.
We have Kate. And I just want to give you her profile and then just kind of talk to me. I mean, you could ask more questions. I'll make up more stuff about her. We got pretty
Okay.
deep.
Okay. Okay. I love
Okay.
it.
So we made Kate. She's 36. She's a successful dentist. So she
Okay.
has a demanding, busy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have any kids, but she would like to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's from a small town. She married her high school sweetheart, but it didn't work out. They've been divorced for about 5 years, and she is ready to move on. There's no like connection there. He's to a different state.
Mm-hmm.
Family is very important to her. She's a super cool aunt. She has
Mm-hmm.
her nieces, nephews. She spends a lot of time with them. She doesn't want to give that up, but she also wants her own family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit about Kate.
Okay. What do you want me to do with Kate?
So Kate is looking for love. She wants a serious relationship. She wants to get married, have kids. So she wants a man who's going to be serious, going to be kind, who will have fun with her, and seamlessly join into her family where she doesn't feel like she has to choose.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can see we had a really fun lunch today.
Yeah, that is fun. That is fun. But what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do with Kate?
So how would she's busy. She, in the world today, there are online dating and things like that. She just feels like she hasn't been able to find the right guy. And, no one wants a serious thing. They just want a one night stand type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
Mm-hmm.
lost. And she's getting to the point where there's no good men left and all the good ones are taken. And
Mm-hmm.
she's just going to be an aunt. And I don't know. We've decided that she doesn't like pets. So she's not going to have any pets. So what can she do?
Oh, okay. Does Kate, can I ask some questions?
Yes.
Yeah. This is so fun.
Yeah.
So what's Kate's like number one challenge or pattern within herself in dating? Is it that I think you might have said it, but you said something like she feels like that there aren't any men out there or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that it, or is there something else?
Yeah, she just, it's tired of the dating scene. She feels like it's not working out because, guys aren't serious enough.
Okay. Okay.
She does she did come from a good home, so she definitely has preconceived notions of what a relationship should look like based on what she's seen from others, not necessarily what she experienced in her previous marriage.
Okay. 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 So right now she's frustrated. She is tired of the dating scene. She doesn't want to continue the pattern what was the pattern in her previous relationship?
We didn't make that up. Let me think. They were high school sweethearts, so let's just say that, they were just young and they never really connected. They knew each other as high school, but they didn't grow together. Let's go with that.
Okay. So you didn't grow together. Okay. Okay. You said that she's looking for something serious. How serious is she about all this?
Like she wants to get married and have kids and have the quote unquote dream life is what she's looking for now.
Okay. Do her behaviors line up with her being serious? Like, for example, does she sleep with people quickly before, like, when she meets them early?
She decides to wait till she feels like she has a feeling like it's okay. We'll go with that.
Okay. 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 She has a feeling until she feels like it. Okay. And how does? Okay. I could probably continue asking questions for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So I'm kind of checking myself a little bit.
This type of questioning that you're asking, that's really good to think about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But as a person, like when you're going into the dating, we're probably not stopping, right, to think about, okay, what are my non-negotiables? Where is, my line with when I'm going to sleep with somebody? Do my patterns align?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that you said that I have questions about. Let me just say that. And like I said, I'm holding myself back a little bit because I'm a very curious person. But Kate, it seems like that there's some opportunity for her to maybe pick the right person this time. So a lot of times, and I'm spitballing here, but
Right.
a lot of times when, we have a pattern in a marriage or something like that where we grew apart, that's like a very fundamental very fundamental kind of value about a type of person that is going to continue growing with you and with the relationship no matter what happens, right?
Right.
Even if it's hard, right? And so if that was true, if that was really true, then the opportunity there is to do some healing work about your intuition. Like, how's Kate's intuition? Is she in tune with who is right for her or who is not? Or does she continue to make, not misaligned choices in her dating journey? And that's why it can be frustrating, is because you're like, I'm doing everything right, but something
Right.
is not working. So there's that. A lot of times when we're working with our intuition, there's a part of us that kind of doesn't trust other people, but it's
Okay.
really, really about trusting ourselves to make the right choice. And that level of discernment really, really takes a level of inner knowing and inner awareness, because us women, we know. There are
Yeah.
parts of us that know, but
Just
it's
get
the
that
other
feeling.
kind of wounded parts. Well, and this is why healing is so important. Is the thing that no one talks about this is that likely, if you have patterns that you don't like, if dating sucks for like Kate, it's probably not even her most highest, most aligned self, her today age self, that is leading the dating process. It actually might be a
Interesting.
wounded part of her that is out there and doing the dating. And that is why we do the healing work, is so that not that we can let go, but that we can start to understand what is happening inside of her. And as we start to understand, that's when she actually gets to come into her full blossoming self. That's when she'll go out there and lead with herself instead of her patterns.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's that one thing. I mean, I have other things that
Yeah. No, I love that. I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful for Kate and her dating.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's the idea of, you mentioned that she said something about like there aren't enough good men out there, right? So that is, some people call that in the personal development world, some people call that a limiting belief.
Okay.
So my take on that is a limiting belief is actually a protective belief. A protective belief. So something like that, where there's a story, even if it's a story that seems very true because that is all that you're seeing. But if a story, if it keeps replaying inside of you, that is all that you're going to see on the outside of you. And
Right.
it's less about mindset and more about an inner kind of knowing that there are actually a really, 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 really good number of really great men that are ready to commit out there. The thing is parts of her do not believe that. And so again, healing work, targeted healing work
Yes.
around what I call the scarcity wound. And the scarcity wound is huge for women. There's all this out there. Again, there are stats on stats on stats on stats of what's wrong with dating, and again, what you're seeing is showing you what you believe, and vice versa. It's like it's a cycle.
Like the
And so
more you
again,
speak that out there, that's all you're going to be able to
you know
see.
it. It's like a
Yeah.
basic law of manifestation is whatever you're seeing on the outside of you, there's a direct reflection of what's happening on the inside of you. And this is very kind of subconscious and unconscious because, again, you're seeing it. So, of course, you believe it. So something like that is something that I would look into with Kate. Like, okay, I hear you and I hear parts of you believe that. And what would that belief be protecting you from? And they would be protecting her from trying, because trying equals pain,
Yeah.
trying equals hurt, trying equals frustration, trying equals disappointment, trying equals being a failure. And so again, targeted healing.
I like that you look deep into, made up Kate. But because when we were making this person, we were like, oh man, we made Kate so perfect and so wonderful. But you just, looked into that and
That's my
saw,
gift.
okay, on
It's
the
my gift,
outside,
Khalila. I see.
Right? But that's like perfect because on the outside it looks perfect. And you're like, why doesn't she have a date? She should be having this. Or that person feels like guys should be lining up down the street. But like you said, there's something inside that we need to fix and work through. And everybody has it. So it's not like, oh, something's wrong with you. It's everybody
It's
is
just an
working through
opportunity.
something.
It's
Yeah.
really just an opportunity. You're not broken. The way that I see it is that the God, universe, whatever kind of word, love, whatever word that you want to use is really telling you when you see a pattern, it's like signposts, like you need to, this is it. This is your this is your evolution. This is your growth area. And again, this isn't just about dating. This is about everything. Like when you get to this point of becoming the magnetic woman, literally your life will be unimaginable, right? In every way, because I can't tell you how good it feels to be who you are and make that cash. Who you are and feel full and that you are completely worthy of everything that's coming your way. And you're not trying to convince yourself all the time, oh, I'm worthy and all this stuff. It's like, no, in your body, you feel it in your
Yes.
bones and in your heart and your soul, in your cells. And that is where it's like just a beautiful place to be. And not only that, like us women that are really, really doing the healing work are changing the world, like literally
Yeah.
changing the world, because the ripple effect that we create when we do this with our friends, our family, our kids, for Kate, like her nieces and her nephews.
Mm-hmm.
And even, as we go out into the world and we're like checking out in the checkout line or something like that, we are a beacon again for alignment and love. When we speak, we don't have to speak. It's just the way that we speak and the energy
Mm-hmm.
behind it, right? And so it's just this whole beautiful transformation that every woman has access to. I'm not,
Yes.
I'm
I like
awesome
that.
and I'm
Yes. Every
amazing. Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is available to everyone.
You talked a lot about love. So how would you define love?
How would I define love? Um, I mean, one word comes up, which is God.
Mm.
Um, and the way that, I feel what's interesting about my journey is that I've always been loving and caring and kind,
Okay.
like from birth. And I think, throughout my journey, because I'm so loving and caring and kind, people would abuse that. People would
Yeah.
abuse my big heart. And I didn't really know who to pick. I didn't know who was right for me and who was not. I didn't know how to say yes when I meant yes and no when I meant no.
Mm-hmm.
And love is also alignment, it's protection, it's support, it is compassion, it is curiosity, all of those things. And that,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it just encompasses what I feel, what God's love or universe's love can really bring to me too.
I like that answer. That's beautiful. So, wrapping up our time together, just thinking about what you told us about introspection and transformation and, being who we're supposed to be, what would be a big takeaway you would want our listeners, especially the women out there listening? What is something that you could say to them to help them rise?
Here we rise. Your patterns aren't you. If any women that are listening and they see patterns in their life and relationship, your patterns aren't you. They are just a part of you. And they're a part of you that is screaming at the top of its little lungs, waiting for you to heal, to understand it, to know it, to love it, to see it and hear it. And, it's on us to lead that and to do that is the way that I see it.
If someone would like to work with you or find you or follow you in some way, can you tell us how they would find you?
Yeah. Well, I invite any single women or even women that are in relationship. I'm looking at you, Khalila, that wants to take the feminine dating archetype quiz at datingarchetype.com. It is a 2-minute quiz. It will reveal your blocks to love and help you find your true love match. And you can find that at datingarchetype.com. And it takes 2 minutes. It will spit out your archetype. It'll reveal your blocks to love and help you find your true love match. And it'll also show you targeted healing that you are open to do. Either, obviously, I have programs with your therapist or even with yourself on getting you to that next level. And that's at datingarchetype.com. And that's a good jump off point just to find me wherever too.
Okay. So if they take that quiz afterwards, they can reach out to you and
yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Lilli, I really appreciate your time. You just have a great spirit about you. And this is not video, so people can't see, but I feel like you're just glowing and you just look like this happy, genuine person. So it's been really great talking to you. And I'm excited for your clients and for you as you continue on your journey.
Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, so this is happening live, not practiced, not rehearsed. I just finished taking the dating archetype quiz on Lilli's site. And for reference, I tried to answer the questions based on who I was when I first started dating, when I was dating DJ, not necessarily who I am now. So let's see. Here we go. Ooh, I'm a magnetic woman. Woohoo. All right, it says, hey, magnetic woman, you found the key that only a few women have. Yay. Oh, I get to scroll to the bottom for a free gift. Let's see some of the things it says. You feel safe leading with your heart. When you make mistakes, you know you're not perfect. That is true. Your first instinct is self-kindness, self-compassion, and self-love. Sometimes I would say that. When dating, you're open to meeting the one, and you have a balanced way of being open to love while also sticking with values and boundaries. Go you. Go me. Ooh, it says I'm smart and driven. I am the Oprah of my friends. Hey, you guys, Oprah has a podcast now too. So, hey, maybe. Ooh, I like this. It says, your flaws are perfect for the heart that is meant to love you. It's a quote by Trent Shelton. That's a really good quote. All right, so there's a lot of different things here to kind of tell you about your type and what you offer as an archetype. And then there's an option to work with her. You also get a free gift, like I said. And then she tells you a little bit more about herself and just some things to work on, because even though I am a magnetic woman, I am not perfect. And there's still things I want to work on, especially obviously if I'm looking for a dating coach, right? There'd be things that I would want to work on so I can work with her. So cool. So if you are looking to date, definitely check out this quiz. Some of the questions were tough. I felt like it was a little bit, I felt like I was a little bit of each option for some of them, but it was fun. And even though I'm not dating, like I said, it reminded me how important it is to stay true to who I am and to keep practicing boundaries in every relationship, be it marriage, friendships, family, and even at work. So that's a lifelong work for all of us. If you're looking for a dating coach, you can find all of Lilli's information in the show notes. Her website, her podcast, and her Instagram are linked below. I recently started following her and I really enjoy her content, so definitely check it out as well. Lilli, thank you for talking with me and for everything that you shared today. And to you, my friend, find at least one thing that you can take from today's conversation to add to your life or to the lives of those around you. And as you move through the rest of your day, I hope you take a moment to listen a little louder to yourself, to the people you love, and to the things that connect us in ways we sometimes forget to notice. I'll meet you back here next time. See ya, bye.